Did the first section happen? First section happened? I was first lecture. How much? That's only that China taught. Then Japan said the mechanical printing, all those we have. Okay, so you've taught okay. Okay. Take your book. Many serials about network. Network no. No. मैथ ने किया है क्यों शो कर रहे हैं
मैं इकोनॉमिक्स और ज्योग्राफी लाया देखो ना सर का लेक्चर
है ना
पहले वाले लेक्चर में एब्सेंट मत डालो मैं बीच में आया था ठीक है
नहीं उधर नहीं वो ऑलरेडी
हो गया
क्या हाँ
नहीं इधर से होगा
अभी समोसा भी कट गया था तो आ गया होगा
अरे
मेरा सब चुम्मा बन गया
पेट ही भर गया था पूरा समय
वो
फल
तीन खाया
मैंने घर जाके
हाँ
listen
दो ही तो था मैं
I think that reading mania we have to learn. Very first, we have to complete so many lectures on this page number 150. See, reading mania means there was a very much interest in reading, curiosity among the people to read the books increased. At the same time, the booksellers and that book printers use different methods to give that books to the public. Understood? The availability of the books increased and the interest of the people to read books also increased. So they were mad about reading. There is so many types of books were available in the market, and booksellers and publishers are also using different methods to reach the books to the public. What were the methods used during this time? So one is that as the education increased or literacy level increased, people were increasingly demanding books. One change is that education level, literacy level increased and people were demanding. Secondly, there was another thing, that is publication of almanacs. Have you heard about almanac? No. Almanac is the ritual calendar. What is almanac? No, ritual calendar. See, now you are getting the sequence of that festivals. Okay, one after another your festivals have been started. It began with I think Ganpati, Ganesh also. So afterwards, one after another, all the festivals are coming. So when these festivals are taking place and how the sequence of these things are there, it is having a calendar. So that ritual calendar is called a almanac. That is one way. So people eagerly purchasing this calendar and keeping it their home to see that when this festival will come. That is one way. Then another way is the publication of penny chapbooks. The books cost 1 penny. That means 1 rupee. You just imagine that Europe, that currency 1 penny. And the chapbooks means chapmen were that sellers who sell, salesmen we can say. they used to sell these books at the homes of the people. So that is what the another type of book, penny chapbooks. That was in England. And in France, a new type of book published, that is small book, it was known as bibliothèque book. Bibliothèque blue. This one is having a bind of blue color and a coarse paper, that is rough paper, 3-2 pages only it is having. That was published in France. So this way, printed books were sold in the market at cheaper prices, because it was in blue color, cheap bind it is there, so people will buy. It is not so costly. Here penny chapbooks also people could buy because it is not costly. So this way, booksellers and publishers used different methods to sell books or to publish books. So we have seen almanacs, then afterwards penny chapbooks, and third bibliothèque. You want to write? Write. Churches of different denominations. Churches of different denomination. Denomination means actually one religions, different
Types of Baptist.
yes, different groups are there. That is what. Churches of different denominations set up schools in villages carrying literacy to peasants and artisans. Next point, with the development of literacy,
I'm adding the reading mania.
Reading mania. Literacy. There was a virtual.
Second point.
With the,
where is this written?
it is not that way. I am just telling important.
With the
development of literacy, there was a virtual reading mania.
literacy virtual. Literacy की बात कैसे होगी?
With the development of literacy, there was a half the thing only you are writing. This is what happened in paper also.
नहीं देखो पूरा.
No, देखा मैंने.
देखो ये नहीं देखा. Virtual
reading mania. People wanted books to read.
Same point.
Next, people wanted books to read, and printers produced books in ever increasing numbers, and new forms of popular literature appeared in print. Targeting
Literature
appeared in print, targeting new audiences. So many things. First, there were almanacs. Next point. As there was
syllabus.
eh?
Already showed the syllabus.
What
I think one of the chapters are not come.
which
Mass
chapters?
commerce to recheck our syllabus because they are not sure they might have updated it. Our exam, they are telling us that from October 18th or 19th, they have proposed an exam. So in the syllabus, there has been a change apparently in a few subjects. So I wanted to show you
I'll tell you. The age of industrialization is
No,
not.
that I know. That is something only for 5 marks.
5 mark also will not be included. Understood? Because it is purely for internal exam. It is written purely internal exam.
So now we have our internal exam in October.
Internal exam means that periodic test is there. No? That is
Yes,
what
we have a periodic test now in October.
October your half yearly is there, no? That is not a periodic test.
We did not periodic test till now. The first paper was also 80 marks, this is also 80 marks.
Okay. They are
That's
going
right.
to include this one.
Yes, ma'am.
5 mark.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And on top of that, one, I don't know, but ma'am told us to check the syllabus once.
Which one? You tell me which branch? History.
No. Like in a this
I am having by hearted this syllabus in my
आप लोग की स्कूल का बात कर रही है
school का नहीं board exam
मैं
में
नाम रखूंगा तो स्कूल so मैं देख
full syllabus is coming. Full love that geography also full. So then just one the geography lifeline. Lifeline is only coming for
math and consumer rights is not coming.
Not coming.
Anything in civics?
Civics, no. That all 5 lessons are there. That lesson is not outcome.
No.
Outcomes.
No.
When we will complete? Yeah. This one is coming now. Sorry, your exam. Let us complete, please. That also, if you are coming, I will be ready. There were almanacs or ritual characters. Along with the
New and where?
almanacs. I have written almanac. Almanacs or ritual calendars. Along with the ballads and folk tales.
Along with
Folk tales. FOLKTALS. Folk tales. There were other forms.
मतलब 2-3 lessons नहीं आ रहे थे कोर्स में नहीं आ रहे मैं तो
You just check it out afterwards. Other forms of sorry. What sentence I have given?
reading matter.
Other forms of reading matter exclusively for entertainment purpose. Comic books. Exclusively for entertainment purpose. Reached to ordinary readers. Next, in England, penny chapbooks were carried by Many chapbooks were carried by
Peddlers or
peddlers, salesmen.
Penny chart books were carried by
Petty peddlers. Petty peddlers.
penny chart books and petty peddlers.
No. Carried by, no? Carried by petty peddlers.
What is petty peddlers?
See, this actually meant that the salesman. But you just imagine at that time, before the invention of so many vehicles and all, cycles were used, bicycles used to be used by this salesman to reach to every nooks and corners. So they were peddling, cycle is peddling, no? So that is why these people were called as petty peddlers. Understood? Petty peddlers, known as chapmen, and sold for a penny. Pardon?
petty peddlers.
Petty peddlers meaning. See, what is that? Salesman. That is the meaning of that person. So they used to cycle and pedaling the cycle and reach to every nooks and corners and streets. Okay. Peddlers known as chapmen and sold for a penny. Sold for a penny.
And
Now-
what is after petty peddlers?
That's
Chapman.
and sold for a penny. That much only. Next one in France.
In England, penny chart book carried out by petty peddlers are in their is
In France.
And sold for a penny. Sold for a penny. Okay. In France,
and sold for the
In France.
penny.
sold for a penny.
penny.
You please do it fast.
फास्ट ही कर रहा हूँ मैं
Fast.
आप बीच में इसके साथ बात करो
In France, the bibliothèque blue.
What blue?
bibliothèque
Suna.
It is written on the board.
bibliothèque क्या होता है
Bibliothèque blue, which were low in sometimes you know that sentence will be given and you have to identify the name. That is why I am giving the next this one also. Bibliothèque blue, which were low priced,
which way
low priced small books printed on poor quality paper, and bound in cheap blue covers. Bound in
bound or what
bind. Understood?
bound in cheap
Blue covers.
blue cube
Cover.
Its name is Bibliothèque blue. That is why those books which are bound in blue covers, that is called a Bibliothèque blue. So very cheap price it was sold, so people could afford it. Then next question I am giving. Why some people in the 18th century think that print culture would bring enlightenment and end despotism.
would bring
Like
Enlightenment and end despotism.
and
And
So it is up to 4.
Despot is how many times? This is what no, your half attention also not there. With the invention of, you just write the answer. With the invention of,
मैम मेरे कान का ऑपरेशन हुआ है मेरे 5th में था लॉकडाउन के 2 दिन पहले
with the invention of periodical press,
क्या होगा?
क्या
हमारा भी मेरा भी हुआ था।
कान मस्त टूट गई
मेरा भी हुआ था। मेरा भी हुआ था।
मैंने दो
there is the development of, there is the development of
मैम वेट मैम।
अब तो ये भी बोल रहे
information and
करंट अफेयर्स इंफॉर्मेशन एंड
current affairs
करंट अफेयर्स इकरा अफेयर्स
with entertainment.
विद एंटरटेनमेंट
मैम अभी वैसे बोल रहे ना विद द इन्वेंशन
You just write the next point.
एंटरटेनमेंट एंटरटेनमेंट की बात जल्दी बोलो एंटरटेनमेंट
पीरियोडिक बोल
Newspapers and journals. Newspapers and journals.
कुछ काम का नहीं मिलेगा।
Newspapers and journals carry information
information
about wars.
about wars उसके बाद
And trade
and trade अब तो इतने जोर
as well as news of
news of
developments in other parts. News of developments in other parts.
बोलो अब बोलो ये लिखता हो कान का प्रॉब्लम बोला आपको समझ
This also helped. Next point. This also helped in.
कितना पॉइंट है 9 पॉइंट
I have given a question. Questions answer only.
सुनो रुको मैम हेड
I have given a question.
Question कौन सा है?
Questions का answer 1, 2, 3.
ये क्वेश्चन और ये आंसर
This is the question.
why something और ये आंसर बस मैंने
One,
तो
two,
7th और 8th
2 points I have
this also help in
helping
तो बीच में मत बोलो
spreading the ideas of
अरे यार चुप हो जाना this also help in
this also help in
spreading
काम का नहीं
ideas of scientists.
in ideas so बोलो
Spreading ideas of scientists, philosophers,
मैम फिलोसोफर का स्पेलिंग वही है ना F
साहब
मालूम है मत लिखो
उससे की
फिलोसफर से के FILO अरे मैं FE
हम जल्दी
and thinkers,
जल्दी फिलोसफर
and thinkers
उसके बाद
to
टू ना
reach to
2 नंबर ना
हम reach to
common public.
आगे
Next point.
to common
Ancient and medieval scientific texts. Ancient and medieval scientific texts were compiled and published.
scientific
Texts
text
combined and
published,
आगे
comma, maps and scientific diagrams.
आगे
maps
Map and
Maps.
scientific diagrams
and
were widely printed. See, the question used to come
where
for board exam. It
Where?
is coming.
Where?
That is important. This all about that how philosophers, scientists, and their works helped in
क्या हुआ अरे मैन अरे 100 रुपए 2 रुपए ले लिए
when scientists like
रुको रुको डायग्राम वेयर प्रिंटेड नेक्स्ट पॉइंट
next point.
when
When scientists like Isaac Newton, Isaac Newton,
Isaac Newell and
Newton
Newton मैम आगे
began to publish
वही सब कर रहा है क्या इतना दिमाग था थोड़ा साइंटिस्ट आइजैक न्यूटन अरे दिमाग हम कर लेते हैं मैं फिर साइंटिस्ट आइजैक
so
न्यूटन
you are not able to write.
साइंटिस्ट आइजैक न्यूटन
Don't.
मैं पब्लिश के बाद
Isaac is spelling
आई डबल एस ए सी
अरे
अरे
AAC.
उल्टा कर गए
Isaac Newton began to publish the discoveries. They could
सीरियस हुआ बे आर्टिस्ट को पब्लिश
their discoveries.
अभी इसे
They could influence a much wider circle
एक
of.
मिनट रुको डिस्कवरीज की बात तो बता मच
They could influence
discoveries they could
a much wider circle of scientifically minded readers.
फिर
The next point, the
कितना
writings
point
of
इसलिए मेरा मार्क्स कट गए
thinkers
ज्यादा बोल रहा है
such as Thomas Paine,
ये कौन है हम थॉमस
Paine, P-A-I-N-E,
Paine.
Thomas
Paine.
Paine,
पेन
Voltaire,
आई पेन तो वो ना नारुतो वाला
अच्छा।
माइटी पुश ईरान
Voltaire,
क्या
I have read Voltaire, Rousseau
रूसो
were also
वेयर आल्सो
widely printed and read. Widely printed and
अब मैं
read.
पूछूं मेरा क्वेश्चन एंड फिर बलीच
Thus,
the next one
no, concluding. Thus, their ideas about science, reason,
science
Rationality.
and rationality found their way into popular literature. Listen very carefully. Our question is that how this science and works of the philosophers helped in the development of printing. See, or whether it is helped or not. Further part, there will be a question about whether you believe it that French Revolution helped by the printing works. So this is what we are starting. That is scientific works, other work of the thinkers were widely published. It could reach to the people and they began to react with that. That means earlier what they were not knowing, now after reading, they come to know about what is the reality. So that helped in the development of revolutions. That is why science and other works or philosophers' works helped or spread through the printing. Clear? Next one is that I am just giving that explanation only, otherwise it is very slowly only going. See, when this type of works are being spread, it had its impacts also. Some people, after getting that books in their hand, they got opportunity to read variety of books. Now some readers, began to warn the kings also, warn the church also. If you are not aware, at least now, your position will go. That is why one quote is the tremble, therefore, tyrants of the world. Tremble. Tremble means fear.
Right.
So that is now the dictators, you cannot sit quietly. The people are alert. The alert people will remove you from the throne. That is why it is told that tremble therefore tyrants of the world. See, who was the person who wrote this statement? You want to write that one? Hmm? Okay. Say, uh, tremble therefore, you just write here. Now in between don't ask. Tyrants of the world. Tremble before a virtual writer. That is what the statement. Okay. Tremble therefore the tyrants of the world. Tremble before the virtual writer. Means you should be very much alert. If you continue to do this dictatorship, you are not having any place. That is the warning here. You write, many believed that. Many believed that.
Next one.
No, this heading you write.
Wait.
Many believe that.
The books.
Answer many. The books.
Up to that much you have written.
That the books.
Books could change the world. Books could change the world, comma, liberate society from despotism and tyranny.
From despotism.
From despotism and tyranny. Comma, and herald. Herald. A time when
Herald. A time when.
Reason and intellect would rule. Reason and intellect would rule.
Intellect.
Intellect, intelligence. Okay. See, when you are writing, the problem is that you are writing half the part. So, what I am giving as it is, you have to write. When the paper comes, this will be happening. That is half or 1/4 also not there.
No,
And you are
is there.
No, you are expecting full also.
Full. Mega full.
Okay. Okay. Now this way. What is that? A day will come. A time will come. This despotism and tyranny all will be removed, and a good day. That means the day of that brightness, enlightenment will come. So all this despotism, all this blind faith will go, and a new time will come. That is what some of the writers, some of the readers believed. Okay. Now another person's name you have to write. Louis Sebastian Mercier. Louis Sebastian Mercier.
The book is named Louise.
Yes will be silent.
No, it's even SE.
That will be silent actually.
The spelling
I
is given
understood.
wrong.
I understood. When you
No,
are
is it SE or is it S? Because Louis is spelled
then
without. Louise is a
textbook
girl's
is
name. Louise is a girl's name. And Louis Sebastian Martin is a boy. So I don't think the E will be there.
This is man only, Sebastian Mercier.
So E will not be there. I think it's a printing error.
That is why textbook only that they correct spelling. But whatever, that is why I wrote up to S only. I was writing all this. Louis Sebastian Mercier, a novelist, in 18th century France. In 18th century France,
A novelist.
in 18th century France, no, don't write that EIGHT, 18th century France declared
18th century.
France, CBSE.
declared the printing press is the most powerful engine of progress. The printing press is the most powerful engine of progress and public opinion is the force
Most powerful.
Engine of press.
Most is the most powerful.
Engine of press.
public opinion is the force that will sweep despotism away. That will sweep despotism away. So sometimes you will get the question like that, the statement, 1 mark question. 1 mark question can come. That is, the statement is given who pronounced it or who wrote this. Okay. So you have to remember Louis Sebastian Mercier. In many of Mercier's novels, the heroes are transformed by the acts of reading. They devour books. Devour, Devour. That means endeavor. Books are lost in the world of books. Create and become enlightened in the process. So, after getting convinced of this change, transformation, he declared that tremble therefore, tyrants of the world, tremble before a virtual writer. Means you cannot live like this. People are alert. People understand how their freedoms are taken away by you. So that is why he told this statement. Did you understand? Now next also one question is there. Explain how print culture created conditions within which French Revolution occurred. Okay, in your textbook also this particular sentence statement is given. That is, some historians believe that the print created conditions for the French Revolution. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
So that the statement is there. So it is given 3 plus 3, 6 arguments. One is in favor and another one part is there in favor and another part is against it. So that is why both the party you can write. Clear? So first I will describe all those things and you just have to write this answer at home. Homework is there. I'm just explaining. Hmm? Or you want to write?
No, ma'am.
First, there are 3 types of arguments in favor of. The first argument is that it popularized the ideas of Enlightenment thinkers. We have studied about that French Revolution, you have already studied. That is the ideas of Voltaire, Rousseau, and Montesquieu. So that was the. So mainly their ideas helped in starting that French Revolution. So that is first reason, that is the ideas of enlightened thinkers were spread because of the French. Second, that is they attacked the sacred authority of the church and the despotic powers of the state. All these things are coming in the first point, that is enlightened ideas were spread through the print. Next reason is that print created a new culture of dialogue and debate. It gave a chance to discuss about or debate about the things. What was written by that enlightened thinkers were discussed. So there developed a chance to debate. There will be groups who agree with and disagree also. So it was a chance for debating on the issues written by or topics written by the writers. That is why we can take it. It helped in getting new ideas and that ideas indirectly helped in starting the revolution. Third one is that by 1870s, there was an outpouring of literature that mocked the royalty and criticized their morality. We know that people began to publish cartoons and caricatures, and the kings become a theme to laugh at. That is mockery. We know that so many kings were shown in the form of just a big figure, that is caricature form. When it is that just they have created a picture of a buffoon type, and at the same time the royalty is engaged in worldliness or the church is engaged in that worldliness, corruption. All these were shown through the paintings and cartoons and caricatures. So this helped people to think, this one is right to me. So people began to get more ideas about what is happening around. So 3 points, 3 arguments in favor we have studied. Which are the arguments? You just tell first argument. Tell them. This is what now. I am compelling you to write.
Print popularized the idea of the enlightenment thinkers by giving the provided a critical commentary on tradition, superstition, and nepotism.
So the writings helped. Now second point you tell.
Print created a new culture of dialogue and debate.
So when printed books came, People read that works and they began to discuss on that topics. There are people in support of the kings as well as that churches. There were large number of people who were against. So when you are getting that printed books or published books, people began to think and they began to discuss on that topics. So discussion and debate. Uh, Third one. What is the third
But
point?
by the 1780s, there was an outpouring of literature.
1780s or 18s?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See, outpouring of literature that made a mockery on that kings as well as the church as an institution. This helped people to publicly discuss about the kings and their lives. Now we are going to see the second part of it. So some people agree with that it is started due to that printed works. Of course, printed work gave more ideas to the people. At the same time, let us see the other side also. We are talking about enlightened thinkers who were writing about it. There were the side of monarchs or that royal family who also encouraged that publishers to publish in their favor. Their works also come in the market. People not only read the books of those enlightened thinkers, they also got that opportunity to read the books from the royal family. That is other side. Next is that they were not influenced directly by reading one book. Just by reading one book to pass the time, leisure time, you will not get influenced by that. You are influenced when you dwell into that or that particular person's more writings if you are reading, then you get some kind of ideas about their thinking. When you are reading only that I'm just deviating from the topic, the present day politics. That is, we are reading only about that BJP's works. Reading only that part. You start thinking this everything is great. They are doing everything good. They are the best persons, best politicians, best government. But when you see the works which are done by the other parties or other persons, we become critical on that. This also we are reading, that also we are reading. So directly we are not influenced by anybody's work. We are getting an opportunity to read and we have our own opinion. Just by telling, okay, this person is good or this government is good. So we are not directly influenced by that. We have our own opinion. When you are seeing a painting, you have your own opinion. How that color combination is there, how that designs are made, everything you are having the opinion. So that is why not directly influenced by the writings. They accepted some ideas and rejected others. What is good they accept, and they also rejected the ideas which they don't want. Okay. Yeah, they interpreted things in their own way. Understood? They accept something, reject something, and they have their own interpretation on that particular book. That is why we cannot say that 100% because of that intellectual philosophers writing French Revolution have taken place. There are different viewpoints, different types of ideologies, different types of opinions. Okay, now
And we come to the 19th century.
Thank you, ma'am. Aditi lecture in PR. आपको बहुत तकलीफ हुई अपनी बात से।
पहले लेक्चर में क्या हुआ?
पहले लेक्चर में हम लोग आए, लेक्चर में मैं 4:30 घर पहुंचा, 4:30 आए वो घर पे।
4:30
हाँ,
इतना लेट क्यों?
हम लोग को बहुत
तुम
लेट
लोग खारघर से
तुम
निकले
लोग
नहीं ना?
क्या?
खारघर से निकले ना तुम लोग?
अरे हम लोग खारघर से 11 बजे निकले, नहीं 10 बजे निकले, 10 बजे निकले,
खारघर से
खारघर से